Hi everybody, this is Martha Carter from the Twisted Outreach Project for Back Care and Scoliosis, coming to you from my home studio on Seaview Road in Black Creek on Vancouver Island. And today I'm going to show you exercise number 2 from my little booklet called 10+1 Simple Exercises for Scoliosis and Fusions. These exercises are good for all levels, all bodies. You even can benefit from them if you don't have scoliosis. So now, without further ado, my setup. Okay, you see I have a chair on a mat, I have a bolster, I have props in the way of blankets, blocks, little pads for my uneven back. We won't use all of those in this exercise, but it's always a good idea to have a few things around. We start just by sitting down. We sit down many times a day in many kinds of chairs. This is what happens to me when I just sit down. One foot in front of the other. My back's a bit crooked. I can kind of find comfort, but it's just I'm just sitting down. I'm kind of slumped. I'm not really in good alignment. I'm not really generally very aware of how I sit in just any old chair. But this chair is a nice, comfy, padded chair in my yoga studio. I encourage you to find a nice, comfy chair in your house that's a bit padded, not too hard, and certainly you want it comfortable for your back, which can be tricky when you have a very crooked back. So seek a chair that is right for your back. And once you've found it, go ahead and become more mindful of how you sit down. Find your tailbone right at your sacrum. Rock gently back and forth to find both sits bones until you find a neutral place with the sacrum, tailbone, and the two sits bones. Let the legs be a hip width apart. Let the knees be over the ankles be over the toes. Let your toes be pointing forward. Let your shoulders be above your hips as much as possible. And then go ahead and just relax backwards, but in this new, more mindful position. So you're not completely relaxed, but you are not completely tense either. You're just kind of holding your position with awareness. And not stiffness. There's no tension in my shoulders. I'm not tense in my legs. I'm just aware. And now I can make it a little bit more dynamic by connecting to my spine and lifting it off the chair. And that becomes an exercise of strengthening. And then melt it back down to the chair. I can show you sideways. I'm leaning into the chair. And now I'm going to connect to my pelvic floor, my abdominals, lift my spine up off the chair. Feel my feet on the ground. Feel my tailbone. Feel my hip sits bones. Feel my shoulders wide and open. And here I am sitting in a very mindful, powerful way. And then I can melt back into the chair. And that's the exercise. Now, we can add to it the number 1 exercise of deep breathing, which I did go into in my first video. And you can choose to do that deep breathing leaning backwards, or you can choose to do the deep breathing lifting up off the back of the chair. You can put your hands on your ribs to get feedback in your breathing. Deep breathing into the ribs, not just into the shoulders. You can also become aware of your concavity. My concavity is my right thoracolumbar area. So when I'm breathing, I want to really emphasize my breathing into that area. It's really helpful if somebody else could put their hand on my concavity and then they'll tell me whether or not they can feel me targeting that area. You want to try to fill up your concavity like a balloon. And then when you exhale, see if you can keep the awareness of the shape of that balloon. So you're always creating more space in your concavity. It can be really helpful over time. You'll get more and more aware. You'll become better at targeting the areas for the breathing. And once you get awareness of your sitting position, then you can really start to gain mobility in your breathing, in your lungs, depth in your breathing, at the same time as strengthening and aligning the whole body. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for exercise number 3.